we wanted to take a moment and show you guys one of our probably favorite tools. It was our second thing that we purchased after purchasing the canner and jars. This was our first tool. This particular one is, the brand is Victorio, but what it is it's a food mill. It's a hand crank. You can use it for making applesauce, for making salsa, for making tomato sauce. There's even a cone that's fine. This is the salsa one, but there's a cone that is fine for taking seeds out of like raspberries, blackberries, that kind of thing, for making jam, so you can do it seedless. Today we're actually working on making pizza sauce, which is going to be in a future video, but we wanted to break out and do the Victorio food mill separate. We will link a similar product in the description. I couldn't find this exact one online, but we purchased this almost 12 years ago now. And so it's a purchase it once and you're good to go. So let me show you how easy it is to use. So we're using these little tomatoes. So I'm gonna load the hopper up a little bit, not too full or you end up getting it jammed up. And then start hand cranking it. There is a plunger that you can use, but this is no problem to just get these feeding through. So out this side is where all the seeds, the skins, even like if we're making applesauce, the bad parts of the apple will come out here. And I like to have, it's a milkshake spoon, but it reaches in here. So right now it'll continue feeding out, but once we finish and I'm cleaning it out, these milkshake spoons work really well for reaching in there and not getting your hands too gross. This makes such short work of the process. Whoops. That's why we wanted to do it as a separate video, was because it's so simple to use and cuts time so significantly. So when we make applesauce, all we have to do is cut the apples into quarters to eighths. Ace, no grocery shopping. He's trying to get into the tomatoes. That's what we call it, is grocery shopping. Anyway, we just cut it into quarters, eighths, whatever size, depending on what size the apple is. We do not have to cut out any of the seeds, the core, bad spots, anything like that, because this machine does it all. And so it seriously cuts down our amount of time and effort. There are different types of machines. There are electric ones. They're more expensive. When my kids were little, this was the job of the youngest. Just sit here and crank. And that way they felt involved, but yet it was well within their abilities. So you can see what came out in the waste bowl. That's all just seeds and peels. And then if you look at what's in here, it's just tomato sauce, basically. I'm not exactly sure what the price of this exact one would be if we had to replace it. I know
it was like 60 bucks.
It was about 70 bucks when we bought it way back when. And so, I mean, 70 bucks, and we've been using it for 12 years. Not a bad investment. Pretty cheap investment all in all. And This particular one, the body is all metal. Obviously this is plastic, and this is plastic, which you can order all these replacement parts online. The only thing that we have replaced is we lost a spring that goes inside, and we were actually in the middle of processing stuff, and so I looked up the specs online, and we went to our local Ace Hardware and bought a comparable spring. It's not food grade, but it is not where any of the food that we're eating gets to. It's only where the waste gets to, so I wasn't worried about it. But it was just a standard size spring that they carried, and so we were able to get right back in business and get stuff processed. So anyway, like I said, we just wanted to break this out into a separate video and be able to show you guys one of our favorite tools that is indispensable in our opinion. Okay, so we finished with the 9 pounds that our recipe calls for. You can see here, I'm going to clean out the rest of the skins and the seeds. That's where I said that spoon comes in handy, as it reaches way up in there in the center of that cone. Basically, that cone sits in like this, so I'm reaching inside of it and cleaning out. Another thing that we have done in the past is that we have taken this waste and spread it out in the dehydrator and dried it completely, and then break it up and run it through the blender and powder it. And so then you have tomato powder that you can use as a base for additional things. You can see how nice and smooth this is. There's an occasional seed in it, but nothing like if we were to do it any other way. And so we checked the time, and it was, what, 15 minutes?
Something like that.
10, 15 minutes to run 9 pounds of tomatoes through this. That's a huge time saver. So let me know if you have ever used a tool like this, what your favorite one is, and what your favorite use is for it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.